The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Hello, everybody. This is Dave-Kanyan. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. Are you ready to dumb it down? All right. That is fantastic. Let's get right to it. We're going to be talking about podcast movement 2018. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it better? Was it worse? How did I like it? How did I dislike it? How did I do? How did I don't? How did I don't? Anyway, so where am I? Hello, dum-dums. Welcome to the Dumbcast as I broadcast, as I dumbcast the number. Oh, by the way, welcome to the number one Dumbcast in the world. It's the number one Dumbcast. Still, this is like 3 weeks in a row. The number one Carcast and the number one Dumbcast. I am on 287, I-287 in New Jersey, somewhere between the New Jersey Turnpike and the New York State Thruway. I think I just passed exit 35. Do you know where that is? No, of course you don't. But I am sitting in about 3 lanes of traffic. Holy cow. As I'm recording this, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Thursday. Yes, Thursday afternoon. I just left a couple of hours ago, actually. Philadelphia, Podcast Movement 17 at the Downtown Marriott in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I'm going to talk about Podcast Movement 18. I'm actually going to talk a little bit about Podcast Movement 17, which was last year in Anaheim. And I'm going to briefly talk about Podcast Movement 19, which will be next year in 2019. So stick around. I have a lot of stuff to talk to you about. I appreciate you dum-dums dumbing it down. However you dumbed it down and found your way to this show, I really appreciate you. And I really appreciate Alex Exum, who does the intro at the top of the show. That's Alex Exum at alexexum.com. He does a podcast called The Exum Experience. And he does a live show now, too. And I don't know the name. I think it's just called The Live Show or Live Talk. But whatever it is, check out Alex Exum, alexexum.com, and you'll get all that information. So, anyway, here we are, the fastest podcast on earth, where we like to discuss things in a pragmatic way. We like pragmatism. We like common sense, right? We like mindfulness, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. I think you're going to get that here. I try to bridge the gap from extremes. I don't have an agenda, folks. If this is the first time you're listening to the show, I don't have an agenda. Whether you're extreme left, extreme right, extreme whatever you are, wherever you are in the world, I'm somewhere in the middle because I think the truth lies in the middle. All right, so, and here I am in my porta potty, which is, once upon a time was a Kia Rio, like Alex Exum says at the beginning of the show. But I have switched vehicles with my wife, and we just didn't change the intro. So it doesn't really matter. Now I'm in a Honda Fit. I don't even have to tell you that. Why would you care? You know, who knows when you're listening to this? So it doesn't really matter what vehicle I am in, but I will confirm. I am on I-287, just passing exit 36B. Do you really need that traffic update? Well, I'm giving it to you anyway. PM18, how did it go? Well, I'm going to cut right to the chase. It went well. It went very well. It went very well for me. There was 2,000 people there from what I understand. I don't have the exact numbers. I would say about 2,000 people. I've heard that number bantied around. Bantied. I don't know how to spell it. Bantied. So, I don't actually, in 55 years, I may have never used the word bantied. Bantied. So, what's the past tense of bantied? Bantied? Oh, you banty? Can you banty something? I've never heard anybody use the word banty. Banty that around? I've only heard bantied. Okay. Is that like do I have like a thing that I get focused on a word and I can't stop? So, it was at the Marriott. It was very nice. I just was speaking to a friend of mine, Alex Exum. He just interviewed me for his show, and he asked me, about it. And one of my first things, I guess I tend to go to the negative, but it's not a big negative. It's like a little negative, and you throw it away. You understand? It's like, oh, I just made a mistake on a piece of paper. What do? You crumple it up, you throw it away, and you keep on writing. That little mistake is not that big of a deal. You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm going to tell you something negative, but you just throw it away. You just crumple it up and throw it away. My one issue, if there was any issue at all with PM18, was that it was a vertical conference. Everything was on the 4th floor and the 5th floor. You had to take an escalator up, escalator down. It was a little confusing. Plus, the hotel is a little mazy. It's a little mazy. For me, it was mazy, like being in a maze. It probably wasn't. There were diagrams everywhere of where you are, like in a mall. And we had an app. We had a fantastic app, the PM18 app, I guess sponsored by Podfly. Or did Podfly make the app? These things I should know? Probably. Does it make a difference to the show? Not really. So, it was a little mazy for me. And by the time day 3 came rolling around, this morning, I did have the lay of the land. I knew where Grand was, Grand A and B. I knew where Salon was. I knew where Franklin was. These are all names of rooms. I knew where the Grand Ballroom was. I knew where the bathrooms were. I think that's the big problem for me. Where am I in proximity to the nearest bathroom? So I knew where the water fountains were. I knew where everything was. But it takes a couple of days. So are the 30-year-old podcasters not having this issue? Or are all the 50-year-old pluses having this issue? Or am I the only one, as usual, mentioning any of this? Anyway, PM17 in Anaheim was horizontal. It was just spread out. So that was nice. I liked that. I enjoyed that spread outness. Spread outness? Sure. I went to another conference earlier this year at the Downtown Marriott. Again, I love Downtown Marriotts. No, I like conferences. I went to the Downtown Marriott in Rhode Island for another conference. That was a totally one-floor, horizontal conference, but also mazy. It was a little mazy. And that one was even worse because, are you filled with the word mazy? Is there any other time in your life you've heard the word mazy that often in a day, in a span of, 7 minutes and 45 seconds? I don't think so. You're not going to hear the word mazy the way I say it and as often as I say it any other podcast in the world. I just can guarantee it. Please do me a favor. Go research Joe Rogan. Go research Mark Maron. Go research everything serial. Go all over the world. Find me another dumbcast. Well, I am the only dumbcast. Find me any podcast that uses the word mazy like I do as often as I have in the first 8 minutes and 16 seconds of the show. But the conference in Rhode Island was very, not only mazy, but the maze was broken up. It was broken. It was like, all right, I'm going down this hallway, and now I'm going through the lobby. Now I'm going over here somewhere, and now there's another hallway. And it's like weird. Why are we back here? This is like the offices of the hotel. It was very odd. But that conference is only 350 people. You understand what I'm saying? This one was 2,000. I don't think you could do this conference in Rhode Island at that hotel. I don't think it could sustain 2,000. Most likely not. That's why they had it at the Downtown Marriott in Philadelphia, because it had a 4th floor and a 5th floor. You need a big space. So mazy is the way it goes. Now, do I complain? By the way, I'm not complaining. I said it's a little thing. You write it on a piece of paper. You crumple it up. You throw it away. It's not the reason not to go to a podcast movement. It's just me being Dave. Now, when I go to a show at the Jacob Javits Convention Center, that's incredibly vertical too, and also equally horizontal. Is this a show about the Javits and all convention centers, Dave? No, I'm not doing a show on convention centers. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to validate myself. Really, Dave? Do you need validation? Yes, I enjoy validating myself. Nobody else will. So, thank you, by the way. By the way, thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 95. I really appreciate the positive response to my listeners. I said I salute you. I think was that the title of the show? Episode 95, I salute my listeners. I think that's what I said. So thank you very much, folks. I really appreciate the positivity. And I'm going to try to do more of those types of shows where I read your comments and comment and thank you for participating in the show. What are the highlights for me? All right, well, here is the big highlight. Here is the number one highlight. I attended, they had these sessions all day long, 9 o'clock, come listen to this guy, 10 o'clock, 10:15, listen to this woman. Everything is all about strategy and marketing. And there's PM 18, all these PMs, they have tracks. Do you want to follow the technical track? Do you want to follow the marketing track? Or the creativity track? There's probably another one. There's like 4 or 5 tracks. I don't have them all memorized. It doesn't matter. But there's a track for everybody. All right? Good enough? Everybody gets a track. I've been on the search for some technical help because I'm always concerned about my sound, my show. But now everybody's saying, well, Dave, these earbuds, man, your sound sounds great. Are you really in a car? Yes, I'm in a car. I'm next to several tractor trailers. I hear brakes squealing. I don't know if you can hear them. There's horns honking. There's F fingers, F words being tossed about here, bandied about. They're bantying about at the F word here on 287 North. So I need technical help, not only to improve the sound, even though these earbuds supposedly sound great, is I need to be more portable. I need to be more mobile and I need to have the type of equipment where I could be portable, mobile, whatever the word you want to say, not just do a podcast in my car. I want to be able to go somewhere and interview you in your car, in your house, at a pub, like my friend Chris Lukey, Leucke, Chris Lukey, pub host. I went to see him talk, and he talked about the equipment he uses for his very successful, is it a pubcast? Yeah, it's called Pubcast. I think it's called Pubcast. Pub host? Did I say pub host? Pubcast, I think it is. And he goes around to these bars all across the world, around the world, not across the world, around the world. And he interviews people, and he does a really great show. So, and his model was Anthony Bourdain. So I just heard him do a couple of minutes. I heard a couple of minutes of a show where he pays tribute to Anthony Bourdain. A lot of people were looked up to him as his lifestyle and all that stuff. I don't look up to the end. That was horrible. It was very tragic. But anyway, it's not about that. So I got to hear him talk about the equipment he uses, and it was incredibly helpful. Not only did I hear him talk about it, he put up a link on the screen. Everybody does a PowerPoint. I don't think there was any presentation that didn't do a PowerPoint. Are they called PowerPoints? Whatever they are. The slideshow, there was a slideshow, and there was a link, and he says, click on that link. Don't click on the link. Put that link in your phone or wherever, and then click on it, and it'll take you to the slideshow that I saw, pretty much, and you'll see the equipment I use. Everything I'm discussing here, you'll see it. You'll see it. And then, and I like that. What I learned, first of all, he was very direct. First of all, second of all, we can't do two. How many first of alls are you allowed to do, right? He was very clear, very concise. He had good equipment, very durable equipment, easy. It was portable. It all goes in a bag. Every piece of equipment that he uses while he's traveling the globe, he put in this link. And he took away from me, and in this particular time, at this particular moment, I enjoyed that. He took away all the gray area. No more gray area. Well, you could do this. No, don't give me options. That's my kryptonite. Sometimes. In certain areas. And I can't be specific about when. And that's okay. I have a kryptonite. My kryptonite is gray areas and choices. Because then I become afraid. Well, what if I take the wrong turn? What if I look left at the fork in the road, I make the wrong turn? And now as a professional driver, you think that wouldn't be a problem, right? But I'm not talking about driving. I don't mind driving on my terms and making mistakes. I can recover from that. Well, not if I have to go to the bathroom. I've done that, and that's horrible. You ever make a wrong turn when you have to go to the bathroom really bad? Or does having to go to the bathroom really bad make you make a wrong turn? Yeah. I've been, in both of those situations. And many more situations I can't remember involving having to go to the bathroom and making a wrong turn. But as a driver, I can recover quickly. And I don't do it with GPS. I mean, I can, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about that. And I'm talking about it not because this is a driving or a trucking show, because I have confidence in my ability. This is very important. I have confidence in my ability to recover from a driving error, whether or not my pants are wet or filled with stuff that it shouldn't be filled with. I can recover. That is important. When it comes to making technical mistakes by spending $300, $400, $500, $600 on a piece of electronic equipment that I don't know nothing about, that I know nothing about, I don't know nothing about? Which one do you choose? I know nothing about. Right. Why wouldn't you say I don't know nothing about? Because it's double negative? Sure. Okay, I know nothing about. I don't want to spend $400, $500. Even though everybody tells me, even though I don't need people to tell me, hey, you get that Zoom 4, you're going to love it. Oh, you get that Zoom 5? Oh, it's going to, well, then, because then I'm at, well, what do I get? The 4, the 5, the 6? Do I need bells and whistles? Or will I regret it? Well, if I buy the cheaper, less expanded model without certain bells and whistles, will it be harder to resell? You know how you buy a car? Years ago, I bought a 4-cylinder van. 4-cylinder Chevy van. Chevy Astro. It was very difficult to sell because I did not put in certain options. Like, I don't know, a 6-cylinder, which would have been easier to sell. Did I have air conditioning? I don't know if I had air conditioning. I might have. Did I have AM, FM radio? I don't know. I might have. I don't remember. We might have just had AM. Hear what I'm saying? I'm afraid. A lot of people are afraid to buy the cheaper one or the not as newer upgraded one. They don't know what to buy because they're afraid to make a mistake. How do I know? Well, Chris Lukey gave me everything I needed to know. He gave me a list. He said, this is it. Get this, and you'll be done. That is the opposite of kryptonite. Get this, and you will be done. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to elaborate more on that. I got to take a couple of breaks here because I otherwise I will talk for 45 minutes. So the first thing we're going to do is that American flag right there on the side of the road. Oh boy, that's not where flags should end up, on the side of the road. Not good at all. Bad for the American flag. All right, so where are we now? I'm still on 287 North. I'm working my way to Mahwah, New Jersey. There's exit 41 here, which is where I-80 intersects with 287. I like giving you a little bit of a geographical idea of where I am. And I want to quickly, before we take a drink break, we're going to take a drink break. How about this? Every time I take a break, I'm going to say something that has nothing to, I'm going to say something a little bit less PM18 profound. PM18 profound. Where do I get this from? Who talks like this? How do you listen to this? I don't know what you guys do. I don't know what are you about? Okay, I'm going to take a drink break. Do you have a beverage? I know Linda likes coffee. Linda Irwin likes coffee. She sits at the end of the table there by her workstation. I'm going to have some water. I'm having water. It's in an actual Aquafina bottle, but it's not Aquafina water. It's from a water cooler on the 4th or the 5th floor. I'm not really sure of the downtown Marriott, the Vertical Hotel. I'm going to call it the Vertical Hotel. I'm going to have a drink break. Before I take this drink break, I want to say something to my good friends that I met or I re-met at PM Podcast Movement 18. First of all, I want to thank Lisette and Mark. Dave, don't blow this. Is it Lineberry? It's Lineberry. 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 Not Linberry. Because then it would be Lininn Berry. Right? Lineberry. Yes. Anyway, you want to get a confirmation on the name? Listen to their podcast, The Running Couple. The Running Couple. They run. She runs a lot more than he does. He walks a lot more than she does. Does that mean she's better at running or he's better at walking? I don't know. You have to find out for yourself. But they're married, and they're both constantly on the go. I think they also have about 4.5 kids. I'm not really sure. I lost count. I'm not good after 2. I only had 1. But they have a few. I think a few is 3. So they have some, right? Some is 4, right? Who knows? So it was nice to have I met them at PM 17. I re-met them again at PM 18. And I actually started listening to some of their podcasts. And it's very good. They talk about running. How much can you talk about running, Dave? I don't know. Listen to the show. They seem to know a lot about it. And they've interviewed some people who have also ran. So you get to share your experiences, and you get to listen to other people share their experiences about running. That's the beauty of podcast. There are riches, R-I-C-H-E-S, in niches, N-I-C-H-E-S. Are you going to spell everything? Nah. No. But I like to. It's fun. I like to do that. I don't know why I do that. It's like a Mr. Rogers thing. Is it? I don't know. Probably more of a drug thing. Okay. Anyway. Let's take a drink. We got to take a drink. My mouth is so dry. Have a little beverage. Ready? Here we go. Just a quick swish. Whatever you want to do. You can gulp. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. Here we go. Water for me. Okay. That was good. Is it a 20-ounce bottle? Yes. I just drank about 8 ounces. I could have drank the whole thing. I could have drowned right now in my car. That would have been horrible. All right. So, I just burped. All right, so here we go. Let's continue on. So thank you, Lisette and Mark Lineberry, who I walked with Mark this morning. Lisette went for a run. She went for a run. Well, and she also offered to train me when I'm ready to go, and I'm looking forward to that. I trust her implicitly. I don't know what she knows. I'm up to 3 or 4 podcasts. I know she doesn't like to run in the cold. I heard her say that, I think, on episode 3 or episode 4. Somewhere she says that freezing cold is her kryptonite. And that's very nice of her to admit that. Because some runners are like, nah, I run in anything. No, she said the cold is her kryptonite. And I get that. All right, thanks, guys. It was good to see you guys again. And I will continue to listen to the running couple. And I look forward to running with them somewhere, somehow. We're going to do... I'm a half maniac now. Not officially. There's something out there. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I think it was half maniac. I'm going to become a half maniac. All right, let's continue on. So where was I? So thank you, Chris Lukey, the pub host. And I'll publish it if I can. I'll post the link that changed my life. So a little quick interesting thing. I raised my hand. I forgot why or when. Why do I need a reason to raise my hand? I raised my hand and... I guess that the Q&A at the end of the show, and I said, listen, I want you to know, and I said this, they had the microphone in my face and all that stuff, and I said, I went to PM 17, and I'm here at PM 18, and I'm here specifically for this reason. Before that link, I needed that information. It's taken me a year and a half. I've been podcasting for 2 years, but whatever. It's taken me a year and a half, or whatever I said, and I finally got what I wanted. And I swear to God, folks, this room was packed. People started applauding. I was like, what? I at the time, I didn't acknowledge it. Why am I mentioning it? Yeah, it made me feel good. It was like, wait a minute, these people have no idea who I am. And they were applauding my joy. So, yeah, that does, fill my ego a little bit, or blow it up, whatever you want to call it. But it's interesting that these people have no idea who I am. They've only heard my voice for the last 3 seconds. And they heard what I said. They heard the emotions in my voice. And they applauded. Not the whole room. I didn't get a standing O. It was like a lot. It wasn't even a smattering. It was like, yeah, they were clapping. I was like, whoa. And it made me, of course, instantly think of all the people in my life that haven't clapped for me. I did. Dave, you always go negative. No, I'm sharing. I'm sharing with you. Dave, who's this voice you're talking to? That's that's my subconscious. Subconscious? Your alter ego? Yeah, both of them. I don't like either one of them. They're both my cousins. Yeah. My cousin, unconscious, subconscious. Yes, I have another cousin. He's or she is unconscious. I have a cousin called subconscious. And I have another relative called alter ego. Holy cow. You have a lot of problems. Well, yes, but I'm doing a podcast, so it makes me look creative. All right. So, if I did this, I used to do this without a microphone. I used to do a podcast without a microphone, which makes me crazy. All right. So, how do you go from crazy to creative? Just talking to a mic. then you get credibility. You go from crazy to creative to credible. That's the 3 C's. That's how you cure mental illness. You know all these people that go around talking to themselves? Give them a microphone and a Zoom 4. Zoom 4 is for everybody. You get a Zoom 4. You get a Zoom 4. Everybody gets a Zoom 4. Whatever. Would that really work? I think that would work. Imagine all these people walking around just talking into the microphone. And then they would we'll teach them how to hit record and then save. And we'll just, everybody will be better because they'll be talking into a mic. I really think that's better than any medicine. There's no pill for that. All right. I'm sitting here like really excited because I think that's a great idea. I actually think that really is a great idea. The more I talk about it, wait a minute. Is that a bad? Am I just crazy? No, that is a good idea. All right, we'll have to come up with some sort of homeless person crazy scholarship fund. All right, where am I with this? So thank you, Lizette and Mark, the running couple. And that was the drink break. We'll do a breather in about 6 minutes. We'll do a breather. 6 to 10 minutes, we'll do a breather. All right? So clear your nostrils. Get ready. We're going to do a breather. Eat some hot peppers or something. Let's drain the fluids out of your nose. We'll take a breather. All right. I do have notes, by the way. I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do a better podcast. So, so podcast movement, A+. Definitely A+. All right? I really enjoyed it. I had some other things that happened that were really good. I met some people that I was really looking forward to, and looking forward to meeting, and I'm going to talk about them in a second. But before that, yes, I'm going to do that before the breather break. And after the breather break, I'll talk a little bit more about people who I've met. Let's talk about something else. Podcast movement. By the way, if I don't satisfy you with PM18 information, then please feel free to write. You can tweet me at @dumb with Dave. You can email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. By the way, it's always dumb with a B. And you can also just leave a comment if you're here on Spreaker. And if you're not on Spreaker, you should be. You should be. Who are you to tell us that? Well, I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, more burps. I like it a lot. Spreaker. Spreaker.com. Check it out. And one of these days, I'm going to get a code. I'll give you a code, like the dumb. Just put in dumb. And then you'll get a discount. So, but not now. Not yet. But I'm going to work on that. I should be able to do it, right? What do they call that? Yeah, code? Whatever. Dumb. That's probably not the word. So I'll go home and go, what did I say code for? It wasn't code. You know what to do. So, what did I do? Oh, so here's some advice. Yeah, so if I don't satisfy you, please contact me. Say, Dave, you didn't finish talking. So I'm going to go home and buy this equipment, by the way. I'm going to go and shop a little, and I'm going to buy this equipment. And then I'm going to start utilizing it as soon as I can. I'm going to get the Zoom 4 or whatever it is, and I'm going to get these microphones, and I'm going to get this other thing, and a bag, and some Sennheiser headphones, whatever. I'm going to get whatever I'm going to get. I'm going to write to the companies that I'm using it, and I'm going to try to be better about my social media, try to be better about my public relations, try to be better about my marketing. Yeah, it all sounds good. On day 4 of my vacation, let's do this podcast one more time on my 4th day of work next Saturday morning on my way home. You know what I'm going to say? Oh, I'm so tired. I just worked 4 days in a row. All I want to do is go home and do nothing. That's what I'm going to say. So, we'll see. So here's some advice for those of you who are just leaving PM18 or have just left PM18 or might somehow remember this when they're leaving PM19. All right? When you're leaving and you're on your way home, and however you're getting home, and when you get home, and the days after you get home, you can't stress it. You can't stress. You did most likely everything you could in the 3 or 4 days you were at Podcast Movement. Yeah, but I should have done this. Yeah, I know. You know what I should have done? I should have walked the expo floor more. I should have. Right? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying. I said that last year too. I had 365 days to do better. I did not walk the floor as well as I should have. Why, Dave? What's on the floor? The floor is every podcast vendor in the world, whether they're legitimate or whether they're full of it. I actually spent 5 minutes talking to a guy. I have no idea what he said. I should mention somebody real quickly before my breather break. My roommate, Joe. My roommate Joe, who I met on Google Docs. My roommate Joe Foley, who does a podcast called The No Sitting on the Sidelines Dad. Why didn't I mention him at the top of the show? That's a good question. It's in my notes. There it is, Joe. Right under Alex. I was supposed to thank Alex and then thank Joe. So sorry, Joe. I got you in the half-hour mark. There you go. At least I remembered. Joe Foley, No Sitting on the Sidelines Dad. And I think it is nosittingonthesidelinesdad.com. He's a single father of a beautiful little boy who I think is 5 years old at this time. And he does a podcast about fatherhood. Isn't that great? That's great. He's very conscientious about his fatherness, his fatherhood, and he's learning. You know, he's always willing to learn and do better. By the way, I'm unbuttoning my pants while we talk, which is interesting because Lizette said to me, it's like riding shotgun with you. And how horrible it would be if she was in the car and I started unbuttoning my pants with Mark in the back, of course. But I would be honest about it. I said, listen, Lizette, turn your head. I can't sit here. This underwear and this belt and these horrible fat boy cargo shorts are digging into my belly. Oh my God, horrible. Whoa. Can you hear the beep, beep, beep? That's my seatbelt. I had to undo my seatbelt because I had to adjust my pants. Oh my God, it's so painful. You know how it is when it cuts in at that belly that I have hanging over my, hanging over like a wheelbarrow. I need a wheelbarrow to get around. All right, let's get safe again. I don't want to get a ticket doing a dumbcast. There we go. All right, I'm buckled in for safety. All right, am I making good points? I'm going to try. We're at the 31-minute mark. We'll take another minute. We'll do a breather. But Dave, we just took a drink break. Well, listen, man, sometimes I can go on. But I got to get through these notes. Don't stress it. You did everything you could. My son once said to me, Dave, he's Dave. He doesn't call me Dave. He calls me Dad. Does he call me Dad? I don't even think he refers to me as Dad. He said, hey, listen. That's how my son refers to me. Hey, listen, you can't live in both universes. There is no alternate universe for you. There's only here and now. This is for my son. He said, Dad, you didn't do it. Whatever you wanted to do, you didn't do it. You did this. And now here you are, an hour later, 5 minutes later, a day later, you're going, oh, I should have done this. Yeah, in your alternate universe, you could have done this. But you're in this universe. You didn't do it. Oh, I should have went to this session instead of that session. Yeah, last year I walked out on almost every session. Because I got suckered into going to these monetization tracks. You got to know where your podcast is at when you go to PM anything. Any podcast thing you do, you got to know where you're at. Where are you? What's the next biggest thing you have to conquer? Or what's the next smallest thing? Whatever. What's the next thing on your list? My next thing is technical. My next thing wasn't monetization. I have no need for monetization right now. Really, Dave? You can just afford this? Yes. It's not that bad. I'm on Spreaker for like $6 a month. But what about the other stuff you're going to buy? I got a job. I have a full-time job. I don't need sponsors. I don't need Patreon. I don't need any of that. I'm really not that concerned about it right now. Not right now. Maybe next year. So I can't stress it. You've done everything you could. Go home. Unpack your bag. Right? Unpack your bag. Dump everything on your bed or your kitchen table. And start getting in touch with all the people. All those business cards. Say hello. Say thank you. Say something. Reach out. Create a template. Change the name. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be incredibly sincere. You should be sincere enough that they believe that you really like them and had a great time meeting them and how wonderful it was to talk to them and stand in their presence and breathe their aura of positivity, negativity, or neutrality. So you should reach out and touch someone. Okay? And follow up and take action. Don't spend another year thinking about it. Spend the next couple of weeks doing something about it. Spend the next couple of days doing something about it. All right? You should do that. Don't let that bag sit at the foot of your bed like mine. That bag of stuff that I filled up sat at the foot of my bed on my wicker basket that I have a winter blanket. Oh, it's a wicker chest. It's a wicker chest that I have my winter blanket in there, and my black bag from PM17 sat at the foot of my bed for 365 days about. Almost a year. My wife asked me over and over again, when are you going to do something with that bag? When are you going to empty out that bag? When are you going to throw out that bag? When are you going to do something? When are you going to do something with your podcast? That she never listens to. I said, yeah, next week. As soon as I get up, I swear to God, this Sunday. Yeah, every week. I would say, yeah, this week. Oh, I got to do it this week. Every month went by. August, September, October, November. I did nothing. I wasted a year. My show could have been much further along. Bad day, very bad. Here's another big, quick piece of advice. When you go to these shows, first of all, you have to have business cards. You have to have something, at least 100. If there's 2,000 people there, you'll probably give out 100 cards. One of these days, I'm going to try to figure out how to count. I'll take my cards and I'll wrap them in quantities of 10 or something like that with a rubber band, so I know I have 100 or 200. I'm gonna somehow identify my cards. I'm not gonna number them. That's insane. I'm gonna wrap them in some sort of easy to count number. I'm gonna see how many cards I give out. 500. I ordered 1,000 or 500 from Vistaprint last year. I think I still have at least half of them. Right? So you gotta get cards. That's one. You should also have a shirt for the men. I don't know about women. Women, I don't think, like this. Men, whatever shirt you wear, T-shirt. By the way, it's so funny watching all these grown people walk around in T-shirts with all these silly podcast logos and whatever. But it's cute. It's it's like pajamas for these kids, for these older kids. You need a T-shirt with a pocket. You need a shirt with a pocket. You need a pocket for your cards. You need a business card pocket. You need a pen and business card pocket. You don't want to be reaching down into your fat boy cargo pants. Yeah, because I'm fat. So I can say fat boy. I have fat boy cargo pants. They look horrible. Horrible. They're in the horrible section. Where are they? Where do you find them? Men's? Ladies? But no, they're in the horrible section at Kohl's. Where the horrible clothes are. What size are you? Husky? No. Horrible. Always have a shirt with pockets. You need to have 10 to 15, 20 pockets. You want pockets, cards, business cards in your front left pocket. You want to wear a shirt with 2 pockets? Okay. Well, that's pretty adventurous. You don't have to fill both of them up with business cards. But how about this? If you wear a shirt with 2 pockets, one on the left and one on the right, one is cards going out and the other one is cards coming in. In and out. All right, there you go. That's my advice for that. Let's take a breather. I have way more advice, but I got to get the show over with. It's going to go to the 44th minute and 59 seconds. All right, there we go. I told you to prepare your nostrils. Here we go. Who am I going to talk about? I already talked about Joe Foley. Oh, this one's for Doug Salamone. Doug Salamone, who has 6 different podcasts. Mind Drip Media. Mind Drippings? I think it's Mind Drippings Media. Look up Doug Salamone. He's on Spreaker. Me Against the World is one of his podcasts, and he has like 500 other ones. He doesn't do episodes. He does podcasts, like one and out podcasts. That's not true. He has Me Against the World and several other ones. They're very interesting. I should have his business card right here handy so I can read the shows. But it doesn't matter what I tell you. Just look up Doug Salamone. S-A-L Amone. Sala, S-A-L-A, Moan, M-O-N-E, not M-O-A-N, silly. All right, so thank you, Doug. And also, real quickly, Chris Curran, am I pronouncing that right? C-U-R-R-A-N? Yes, from the Podcast Engineering School. It was so great to have seen him. I had a little situation with him, because it was really me with him, not him with me, I think. I wrote an honest letter, which might have been too honest, and I might have said some things that you don't say to somebody you don't know, like critique. You critique. Sometimes, even though you're a New Yorker, you should keep your opinions to yourself. Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to be helpful. I thought maybe I'd be the guy that would really help him out. Because, he's a great engineer, but maybe he could use my advice on something else. Or maybe not, and I should never do that again and write letters that make me feel uncomfortable about seeing people in person, because maybe they'll want to hit me in the face. which he did not do. We talked, and then we hugged it out. It was very nice. Thank you, Chris Curran, from the Podcast Engineering School, a show that I know. Oh, the Podcast Engineering School podcast, a show I know you can find on Spreaker. That's definitely on Spreaker. All right. So thank you, Chris. And then we went on a meetup to a recording studio in South Philly, baby. South Philly. Never seen it before. And it was quite an interesting town. All right, 40 minutes and 10 seconds into the show. We're definitely going to go to the 45th minute, and then we're going to say goodbye. Let's do a quick breather, and I'll see what I can give you in the last couple of minutes. All right, here's a segment we called the breather. Ready? 3 deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Lizette, you're running shotgun with me? Don't snot on me, sweetheart. Do not snot on me. I'm wearing a black eyes out shirt. I don't want to see any of your boogers, any of your stuff on my right shoulder. And Mark, you're sitting back there behind me? Mark is probably driving. I'm sitting in the back. All right? Nothing on my neck. Nothing on my back. Don't be gross. All right? Clear your noses first. All right? Blow your nose. Whatever you got to do. Get your neti pot. Get a neti pot. Put that fluid in your nostrils. Clean it out. Let's breathe. Ready? 3 deep breaths. Breathing through the nose, out through the mouth. You don't have to be quiet. You can be as noisy as you want. You're breathing. All right? And when you breathe in, you're going to hold it. And each breath will be deeper than the breath before. And the last one is really going to be, you're going to try to make that one hurt. Ready? All right, 3 deep breaths. Here we go. I'm going to hold on to the steering wheel for this one. I do better when I hold on to the steering wheel. I found that out. Ready? Here we go. Go. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, I feel the rib cage expanding every time now. I feel it every time. Ready? Here we go. Second breath. Hold it. Then let it go. Go. Wow, out through the mouth, right? How are you feeling? You're okay? Don't lose balance. It's not worth it. I don't want you falling off your treadmill or the bridge or your cliff or your hike, or I don't want you falling off your chair in your cubicle. Last one, really deep, in through the nostrils, hold it at the top, and let it out. Exhale through the mouth. All right? Try not to spit on anybody. All right? This was for everything you got. Go. Oh, wow. That was great. I love when I expand so deeply that I feel like I go to another size. Like extra, extra, extra large. But that's not true. I didn't do it that much. But that was really good. All right, that was a breather brought to you by air. Anywhere you are in the world, if there's air, you should breathe it. Especially if it's free and clean, like me. All right. You'll appreciate it. Don't take air for granted. All right? It's good for you. Oh, all right. So here we are at the end. I met Tamra. Tamra, like camera. I have to say these things over and over again. Tamra, like camera, from the Shelf Addiction podcast. Shelf Addiction. She also does Pop Culture Sunday. I wanted to interview her, but you know what? I'm glad I did it. Only because I'm glad I didn't interview anybody. Last year I was so upset I could have done 100 podcasts. This year I didn't do any, not even my own, except for this one on the way home. Because I now have equipment on the way, and I can't wait to interview these people and have them sound proper. It's going to make me feel so good. Look, I'm going to bring you great interviews. I'm doing a little Donald Trump there. I'm going to bring you great interviews. My interviews are going to be the best interviews. Everybody loves my interviews. I hear good things everywhere I go. Okay. Tamra from Shelf Addiction. It was great to meet her. Folks, Tamra does this show called Shelf Addiction, and she also does another show called Pop Culture Sunday. She does it on Sundays, live. I think she does it live. Maybe not live, but whatever. It's good enough. So she talks about pop culture, TV, movies, all that stuff, with her co-host Lisa. But this woman can read a book. You understand what I'm saying? She can read a book. I can't read a magazine article. All right? I can't read a magazine article. You understand what I'm saying? Letters to the editor. I'm done. Page 1, page 3. I go through the index. I go, wow, this magazine looks fantastic. What a great index. I'm not buying it. I'm never going to read it. Never going to read it. I love the index. Wow, look at this information. If I read every article in this magazine, my life will be so much better. Are you going to read it? No. I can't. I don't have the time. And I can't stay awake. All right? So I met Tamra. I met Doug. I met Chris Curran. Oh, boy, if I left anybody out. Joe Foley, my roommate. Yeah. I think that's everything on this list here. So that was really great. All right? Anything else? I gave advice. And I met so many people. And if I didn't mention your name, do me a favor. Tweet me at Done with Dave. Hold on a second. I got to say goodbye. Hold on. Got to go, folks. Got to go. Goodbye. Good day. Good night. Good luck. Good riddance. Godspeed. Good rats and great skills. Take care.